I'm Luol Deng, the small forward for the Chicago Bulls. You know, it was the first a season game where it felt like it's the finals. It felt like a playoff game where you had all your friends and all your cousins and relatives. Everyone's texting you, good luck, and you're like, it's a season game, and you walk into the locker room and it's the media, the locker room was just full of media, from all over the country, just covering the Heat. And, as a team, we felt like we had guys down, but we felt like we could do it. We felt like, just play as hard as we can and make it tough for them. And really, the way the game went, we just had a rhythm the whole game. They took a lead, we took the lead. They just kept going back and forth, but we never really, allowed them to get a huge run. I've had so many roles. I went from being the captain to being the glue guy, being the guy that gets everyone together, then being asked to be the best defender, then also being asked to lead in scoring. For me, it's always a different role. And I look forward to it, and I always try to, step in and fill in that role. The thing is, you just don't know who the best player is. Just every night it's a different guy. It's the NBA. You could be guarding someone who just doesn't score that much, and just that day they feel great, and they could just go out there and light you up. The thing with being in the NBA is every game you got to take it so serious, because if you don't, that guy that you're guarding, it's just gonna embarrass you. Sometimes you guarding big name guys, and everyone looks for that matchup. But a lot of times, some guys will sneak up on you. It's just the day where they feel great, and if they get going, it's hard to stop them. This year, me and Joe making it, I just thought that the city needed it. When Derek got hurt, we lost in the first round of the playoffs, and there was just a lot of negative things being said, and talking about we don't have certain kind of guys. So for me and Joe to go out there, and be picked by the coaches, it just meant a lot, not only to our team, but also to everything that was being said about us, in the media. So. My family's from South Sudan. I left South Sudan when I was 5 years old because of the civil war there in Sudan at the time. My family, we moved to Egypt as refugees. We spent 5 years in Egypt. And at the time when we were in Egypt, my dad was in England, and he filed for political asylum, pretty much asking the government if we could come over as refugees. My family still lives in England now. A lot of the stuff that I do, I kind of saw Manute do. When we were living in Egypt, Manute took a vacation to Egypt, and he went. There was a church there that the Sudanese community would always go there. And when he went to church, he saw that there's a bunch of young Sudanese kids playing basketball. At the time, that was my older brothers. I wasn't playing at the time. I was about 7. And Manute saw them playing, and he just wanted to teach them the rules. So he extended his stay for the summer and kind of taught them how to play basketball. I would play with my older brothers, and that's how the game started for me. So if it wasn't for Manute, we wouldn't have really known the rules, or we wouldn't have been playing basketball. To start with, I didn't really like basketball. I was playing soccer at the time, and I wanted to be, called football. But I wanted to be a football player, a soccer player, and I spent most of my time playing soccer. I think I wanted to be a soccer player more than anything. Even today, I still want to be a soccer player. I still watch, football, soccer. I follow it. And I mean, I know I made the right choice, but deep down, I'm still, in love with soccer. So, I'm telling you, now we always play this. Me, him, a couple friends, my brother, my two brothers actually. It gets serious. It gets very serious. You'll see. I dominate on this. The record is probably like. What would you say the record is? 500 to like 50.
Damn.
Yeah. And you went to Duke? This guy can't count.
I visited Virginia. I visited Fairfield, Missouri, Indiana, and Duke. And I remember I took all my visits, and Duke was the last one. My Indiana visit was about a week before the Duke visit. And I remember when I was at Indiana, I called my high school coach, and I said, I'm going to Indiana, but don't tell anybody. And I called my parents, and I said, I think I'm going to go to Indiana. And my dad didn't like that. My dad really wanted me to visit Duke. And he was like, no, you're not going to cancel your Duke visit. Coach K came all the way to England. A lot of coaches didn't do that. He came and visited us, so I want you to, at least return the favor and go visit Duke. Don't cancel on him. So I went to Duke, and I fell in love with what they were telling me. The team, the chance of going to the Final Four, the fact that I was going to be on TV, how he was going to use me, my name will be known, and it's really what I wanted. So. I really changed my mind quick, and I ended up going to Duke. And for me, growing up, the only teams we really knew of was really the Bulls. I knew Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. That's pretty much about it. It's unbelievable because the Bulls is really, one team that everybody knows. You have the Lakers also, but it's one of those franchises that history of the Bulls is so known, and they're so famous all around the world. So it was kind of, when I was drafted, I was excited, but I also knew with the history and the tradition and everything that a lot was going to be asked out of me. But it's just an unbelievable feeling to grow up following that team, and just only knowing that team, and all of a sudden you're playing for that team. It's weird. When I first met Jordan, the first time I met Jordan was when I was in high school. And I was invited to the Jordan camp in Santa Barbara, and I played it cool. I was just like, so what? It's not a big deal, whatever. And everyone just kept talking. MJ's coming today, and I remember I was on the court, and he walked in, and here I am. I didn't make a big deal of it. As soon as he walked in, I just froze. And that was my first time ever seeing MJ. And I just froze. I just stood still, just staring at him, and it's kind of weird. I never did that before. And he walked up to me, and all he said was, Carolina's way better than Duke. And, it's just like right when I committed to Duke, and that was his first words to me, Carolina's way better than Duke, and just kept walking. It's just how he is, so. To me, it's crazy that I really have that relationship with him. Sometimes he would call me, he would text me, and just talk about the game and what I need to do or what I'm not doing. And to me, it's so helpful, and it just gives you confidence when, one of the 50 greatest players of all time, picks up the phone and tells you how good you are or what you could do to be better.
It's crazy because to have a friend realize their dreams at such a young age, because when you're in school, whatever your major is or whatever career path you're trying to go down to, it's a very gradual process. So I got a lot of inspiration from watching him play that year at Duke and go to the league and get drafted and progress as a player.
I was just so happy and so proud that my friends could actually say, I have a friend or, a brother or, my sister telling, my brother plays for the Bulls. For me, it's always been about that more than, what it meant to me. When sitting there on the table on a draft night with your parents and, you get drafted, it's kind of like, first thing you think about is, your mom is never working again. And I just looked over at her on the table, and to me, it's the proudest moment because I just knew, from that day on, I'd take care of her. So.
Lou has a very professional, more of a serious demeanor, carries himself with an air of professionalism in basketball, and all the interviews. I mean, he has a very rich narrative, and it's very interesting and engaging, and he's seen as a humanitarian and a personal character. But the world doesn't really see like his sense of humor and how personal he is. I think that's everyone's takeaway that has an opportunity to kind of spend time with him, like off the camera and such.
Hey, hey, ref.
Hey.
Wow. This guy's trying to cheat, man. Yo, come, I know where you're going anyway. I can't play next to you.
Who's cheating? He's looking at that. I scored.
I knew where you were going anyway, and I guessed it.
I was gonna score that no matter
You
what.
can't take an assist, man.
That's my second goal too. It's not like my first one. Just saying.
Man, you were offsides anyway. See, he's a cheater. That's not.
Anyway.
A lot of people don't know that. He cheats at video games.
I don't agree with people when they, call an athlete selfish for whatever they're doing. I just really think it's everybody has the right to do whatever they want. You can't really judge someone for being selfish just because they don't do what you would do. And that's how I always look at it. I think whether you give back or not, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's you being who you are. When I give back, it's just something that makes me happy. It's not necessarily because I want to be known that I'm not selfish or, I want to put it out there that I'm giving back. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's just my personality and how I was raised. And I think, if you look back at Ali, he did so much for the people because of just what he believed in. It wasn't so much he had to do it for people to see it. He really stood on what he believed, whether it was not going to fight, believe in equality, whatever he believed in, he really did it because that's what he wanted to do, and it made him feel better. And I think with me, when I give back, I'm just a happier person. I've always said since I was young, I didn't know what I was going to be doing, and I still don't know what I'm going to be doing after basketball, but I always know like somehow I'm going to be giving back in one way or other, and that's just my personality. It's not so much, so when a lot of my teammates, I've had a lot of teammates in the past 9 years, and I've seen teammates that give back and teammates that don't, and I never really, the ones that don't, I never looked at them as selfish. A lot of times it's just what they know, or that's what they want to do, or whatever makes them happy. If treating yourself and taking care of yourself is what makes you happy, then that's what you should do. I do a lot of basketball related stuff in England, so I do a lot of camps throughout the year. Because I'm here, we have like day clinics and day camps. We have camps also for the girls, the Deng girls, where all the best girls in England would come and compete, and the winners would get prizes. That's just through basketball. With my foundation here, since I've been here 9 years, we have certain things that we do every year. For example, we have the Lost Boys birthday party, and that is all the refugees and all the kids from Sudan who are pretty much, they call them the Lost Boys, but they're also known as war soldiers, where they were taken from their family at a young age, and they don't know the exact date of their birthdays. So we pick a day every year, and we would celebrate it with all of them, and each one would get presents and gifts. And then we do Thanksgiving dinner, which is supported by a homeless shelter here, and we do that every year. We also have a kids toy drive, do that every year. And in the past, I teamed up with so many organizations. I mean, to name a few, I did things with Nothing But Net, World Food Program, UN, UNICEF, 9 Million, But it was one of those, I just wanted to do everything. Now I've calmed down a little bit where I want my foundation to pick certain things and focus more on, on certain things. But when I came in at a young age, I wanted to save the world. And I wanted every organization I would, do a PSA or I would be involved with them. I went with UNICEF to a refugee camp in Kenya. We spent a week at a refugee camp, and then we were able to build a basketball court there, which they still use today. We were able to build and renovate a school back in South Sudan, in Wa, where I'm from. We also did another basketball court just outside of Juba in South Sudan. So we just try to do as many as we can, and hopefully, pick more projects in the future to do more things.
The older I get, the more thing I want to do, and believe me, I want to help everyone here, but it takes more than one person.
I don't think it's never going to end, in terms of me helping people or trying to do something, to make someone else's life better. I don't know exactly where it's going to be, whether it's coaching basketball or working with an organization or whatever it is. Somehow I just feel like that's what I love doing. So. I'm so proud of that, and it's something that for my mom is just it hasn't sunk in with her because she still can't believe that my face is on the money. But the greatest thing about that was we came to England as refugees, and the neighborhood that I'm from, or we lived in, Brixton, it's one of the it's not a great neighborhood per se, and a lot of youth are going the wrong direction there, and what they wanted to do was to motivate the kids in doing the right things, so they wanted to use certain guys. And I was selected to be on the 5 pound, to put my face on the 5 pound. I still can't believe it, but you actually go to England, you have money in your wallet with my face in it, which is to me is still, it's still weird, but it's something that, when I gave that 5 pound to my mom, I could see how proud she was, and those kind of the things that make her, proud, not really necessarily me scoring 20 points, which is also great, but that's not how she raised her kids. I want to start a basketball academy in Africa. I feel like in the past a lot, or that's how it really is. A lot of African players that have been here before me have always been big guys or post players, and there's always a mindset that people have that African players are not really very skilled. They have the height and they have the athleticism. So most of the times, even if you look at colleges, a lot of kids that they give scholarship to, or a lot of African kids that they take, most of the times is big kids. And I kind of, since I was in high school, I wanted to change that. I'm just proud that a lot of African kids that are not 7 feet or not that tall can actually look at me and say, what, he's from Africa and he's a two guard, or he's a small forward, and kind of go out there and believe that they could do it. I want to see more kids get an opportunity to be in the NBA. I don't know exactly yet, where it's going to be, or what country I'm going to work with, but just somewhere where hopefully help the kids, with school, and just, teach them basketball the right way. So, because a lot of kids come here and they struggle with that. They struggle with school, they struggle with the language, and they kind of, it's a setback when you're 15, 16 years old and you can't speak the language, or you don't have the grades. And now, you're set back 2 years. It's hard to, stay motivated and keep pushing yourself. But, if we give them a head start where they're prepared, hopefully that will help them. Nothing really to do with sports, to be honest. Just the fact that, just like how Manu Ball kind of, helped me and, helped shape me to become who I am. Just another kid coming and seeing the things that I do, or the things that I wanted to do, giving back and helping other people. I think just people seeing that alone, I think, that's what I want to be remembered by, or I just want people, I want young kids to take after that, be in it for the right things and, not so much for the wrong things. The goal is always never lose the passion of, the game. I just know I'm passionate about a lot of things outside of basketball, but at the end of the day, this is what I do. This is what I love to do. I never want to lose that passion, so I always want to improve. I want to keep on getting better, but never want to lose the love for the game. I still want to be, able to go to the gym at night, be the first one in the gym. Just know how good this game has been to me, and staying humble and just keep working on my game, and everything else will take care of itself. But the main thing is, take care of what takes care of me. At the end of the day, that's basketball.
We are going to be doing something that I haven't done before, a vegetarian curry. Shock, horror, I know. And then we're going to do also, first time ever on the show, we're baking, and I can't bake for shit, so I brought my good friend Cardi Kloss. She can do Cardi cookies. Boy, I hope these tears I cried on the paper don't dry before they make it to your side. I want you to know what it feels like when your heart is done. I'm so tired.
And they could just go out there and light you up. The thing with being in the NBA is every game you got to take it so serious, because if you don't, that guy that you're guarding, it's just gonna embarrass you. Sometimes you guarding big name guys, and everyone looks for that matchup. But a lot of times, some guys will sneak up on you. It's just the day where they feel great, and if they get going, it's hard to stop them. Going back and forth, but we never really, allowed them to get a huge run. I've had so many roles. I went from being the captain to being the glue guy, being the guy that gets everyone together, then being asked to be the best defender, then also being asked to lead in scoring. For me, it's always a different role, and I look forward to it, and I always try to step in and fill in that role. The thing is, you just don't know who the best player is. Just every night it's a different guy. It's the NBA. You could be guarding someone who just doesn't score that much, and just that day they feel great. Good luck, and you're like, it's a season game, and you walk into the locker room, and it's the media. The locker room was just full of media, from all over the country, just covering the Heat. And, as a team, we felt like we had guys down, but we felt like we could do it. We felt like, just play as hard as we can and make it tough for them. And really, the way the game went, we just had a rhythm the whole game. They took a lead, we took the lead, they just kept. I'm Luol Deng, the small forward for the Chicago Bulls. It was the first a season game where it felt like it's the finals. It felt like a playoff game where you had all your friends and all your cousins and relatives. Everyone's texting you.